I was born in Manchester, where I lived with my mum and dad. When I was 4 years old, my dad died. And it was then that I found out that I had neurofibromatosis. It started with a swelling right side of my face, and my mum took me to the doctors. At first they thought it was something to do with my teeth, but the swelling just kept getting worse. So my mum took me back to the doctors, and he referred me to a specialist, and it was him that diagnosed as neurofibromatosis. Between the ages of 4 and 15, the swelling just got worse. At the age of 15, I had my first operation. Neurofibromatosis is a genetic disorder which affects 1 in every 3,000 people. The common symptoms are brown patches on the skin, which are called capillary, and also nodules, which are just below the surface of the skin. More severe symptoms are tumours within the body, or on the brain or spine, bone malformation and curvature of the spine for other severe symptoms. Also sight and hearing defects, and sometimes epilepsy. The disease has affected me in such a way that I have sight and hearing defects, also facial tumours, and a tumour on my back. I also have curvature of the spine, and local tumours and capillary marks over the rest of my body. I have an operation on my face regularly. Sometimes it's as little as 6 months between, and sometimes it's as much as 3 years. If I didn't have these operations, I'd choke, because the tumours would grow and get heavy and press up against my throat, which would prevent me from swallowing. Since the age of 15, I've had 11 operations of this kind. My mum died when I was 10 years old, and until this time she had encouraged me to attend a normal school and live a normal life and to be independent. After she died, I was sent to a boarding school, which I didn't like. I didn't like it because it was a special school and it was for disabled children, which took away the independence that I was used to having. We weren't allowed to be normal and do what normal children did. For example, to grow up normally. Because we were disabled, it was thought that we wouldn't need to be independent, and our emotional development was ignored, because we would never have a relationship with a man. The education was also fairly poor. We were disabled, so of course we wouldn't have to know very much. When I was 19, I was sent to a college, again for disabled people, and again I didn't learn very much. Although I did do exams there, they wouldn't let me, because I didn't think I was capable of doing any exams. I was at college for 2 years. After this, I was moved to a residential home, which was for physically and mentally disabled people. I was very unhappy there, because although I had a room of my own, I was still denied my independence, and the staff assumed that I would stay there for the rest of my life. These years were the worst of my life, and I felt trapped. Nobody would listen when I said I wanted my independence and to have a flat of my own. 3 years ago, I convinced one of the staff that I would be able to live alone, and I moved into a flat. Once I'd settled down, I wanted something to do, so I tried to get some voluntary work at a local geriatric hospital. I was refused because the person in charge said that the old people wouldn't like me working there. I couldn't accept this, as I'd worked with old people before and knew what they were like. I think the problem was with the organiser. She couldn't accept me, and she wouldn't give me a chance. Because I couldn't get any voluntary work, a social worker suggested that I attend an adult education centre. So I took his advice and tried for it. I started at an adult education centre in Manchester, where I thought I might meet people. I was nervous about starting the centre, as it was a new place, and it was a centre where all the people were able-bodied, whereas before, the places I'd been were all for disabled people. And I also was nervous because I thought I'd have some problems. I did have problems when I first started with some of the staff, because they thought I should work in a room of my own. I was very hurt by this, because one of the reasons why I joined was to meet people. You know, I stuck it out and joined normal classes. Students were okay with me, and last year I passed my first English exam. I've been attending college now for about 3 years, and in that time I've done things like biology, English, maths and typing. I've also made a lot of friends and been on some college visits and trips to places such as Dunham Park, Tatton Park, Chester, Southport, and I've also been to Smithers restaurants. Also, I've been on a college holiday where we went camping in Chester for 4 days. And when I went shopping in Chester, it was on a Saturday, and I had a few problems with people staring. Whenever I go shopping, I have problems with people staring, and sometimes the cashier's not taking my money from me, or sometimes just not serving me and just walking away. Shopping, I tend to get a taxi because I find it difficult to stand at the bus stops, and also I find it difficult walking to them. And I've had problems with bus drivers. Like, for instance, one bus driver made me get off the bus, and another time another one wouldn't take the money off me and made me sit at the back of the bus. I think the reason they do these things is because they can't cope with me and the way I look. At the present, I'm doing a Sitting Girls community care course, which involves things like English, maths, sociology, how the community works, human growth and development, and the different types of people involved in community work. I'm enjoying the course, although I don't really like the sociology part. Also, I have to do a placement, which I really enjoy, as mine is at a vet's.
Glands are off a little bit. Let's listen to his chest.
When I'm at the vet's, I do things like make sure the surgery is clean and sterilising the instruments ready for operations. Making sure all the anaesthetic equipment's out and that it's alright. Also helping care for animals after the operations and writing up the cards and putting them back into the files.
What's her name? I could have your address, please. That's fine. Have you got any previous vaccination certificates for her? Oh, right. Have we done any vaccinations for Sally?
Also, we've got some wildlife that we look after, which consists of things like swans that come in with lead poisoning. So we have to tube feed them because they can't eat anything, and also give them injections to help get rid of the lead. And also we've got some ducks in that are there permanently because of permanent injuries. And we've also got a couple of owls that are there permanently as well. I like animals and eventually I'd like to get a job with animals, either a vet's or PGSA or an animal sanctuary. I think I'd probably have difficulties getting a job though because of the way I look. But eventually I hope to go to a college in Liverpool where they train people to become animal nurses.
No. It's just come to prayer. Yes.
I've now got a lot of hobbies and interests, or things like I like going to discos and pubs and to parties. And I also like doing sports such as swimming, throwing the javelin and discus. And I also like playing darts. And I've won a lot of medals for these games. I've also got a lot of animals in the flat that I'll look after, and now I've got to know a lot of people. I invite them round sometimes, and we sometimes have coffee or a drink, and sometimes either play records or watch telly, or sometimes we'll go and get a video and watch that. The animals that I've got are 2 budgies, a hamster, 3 terrapins and some goldfish, and I hope eventually to get a dog and a minor bird. I'm now doing the things that people said I couldn't do and that I've always wanted to do. I could have got my own flat and my own independence. And I feel now that I'm living and not existing and that there's a lot of catching up to do.